Buying your first home can feel like trying to solve a puzzle with no picture on the box. You don't know where to start, what comes next, or how long it will actually take. But what if I told you there's a clear step-by-step roadmap? In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to walk you through the complete home buying timeline, from the very first action to the moment you get those keys. Let's take the mystery out of this process for you. The home buying process has 8 major steps. Some of them happen in a single day, others take weeks. The entire journey from start to finish typically takes 60 to 120 days, depending on the market and your specific situation. Now, here's something important to understand. The biggest variable in this timeline is the house hunting phase. Some people find their perfect home in 2 weeks, some take 6 weeks, or even longer. And that's completely normal. The key is not to rush the step. You want to find the right house, not just any house. So if your timeline is longer or shorter than 90 days, don't stress. The process is flexible and will move at the pace that's right for you. Now let's break down each of these steps in detail so you know exactly what to expect along the way. Step number 1 is getting pre-approved for a mortgage. This is your very first step, and it's the most important one. Before you look at a single home, you need to know how much you can actually afford. I'm not talking about a quick online calculator. I'm talking about a full mortgage pre-approval from a qualified mortgage broker. Here's what happens. You provide your broker with your income, your debts, your credit score, your down payment. They'll run the numbers and tell you the max amount you can borrow. This gives you a clear budget and shows sellers that you are a serious buyer. This process can take anywhere from 3 to 5 days. And here's the key. A pre-approval is valid for 90 to 120 days. You have a window to find the house. Here's your pro tip for this step. Work with a mortgage broker, not just your bank. A broker has access to dozens of lenders and can find you the best rate and terms for your specific situation. I have a breakdown on how to choose the right mortgage broker in my buyer's guide. The link's below. So step 2 is assembling your real estate A team. Once you are pre-approved, it's time to build your team out. You need 3 key players: a real estate agent, that's me, a real estate lawyer, and a home inspector, especially as a first-time home buyer. Your real estate agent is your guide through the entire process. I help you find properties, negotiate offers, and manage the timeline. Your lawyer handles all the legal paperwork and the transferring of ownership. And your home inspector makes sure the home you are buying does not have hidden problems. I suggest you have your agent and your lawyer lined up before you start seriously looking at homes. The home inspector comes in later, but it's good to have a recommendation ready. Your realtor will have a few to recommend. My step 2 pro tip is reach out to your lawyer early, even before you make an offer. They can open up a file, review your ID, and get all the preliminary paperwork together. This small step can save days of stress later. I have a complete breakdown on how to choose each of these professions in my home buyer's guide. The link is below. So step 3 for me is to define your must-haves and the deal breakers. Before we start looking at homes, we need to get crystal clear on what you actually need versus what you actually want. This is where we create your must-have list and your deal breaker list. Your must-haves are non-negotiable. For example, I must have 3 bedrooms. I must be within a 60-minute commute to downtown Toronto. Your deal breakers are the things that will make you walk away. For an example, I want to buy a home that has an ensuite because my husband and I get ready for work at the exact same time. We need 2 showers. This clarity is essential because it prevents you from wasting time on viewing homes that don't fit your needs. And it helps you make faster, more confident decisions when the right house comes along. We will also talk about your ideal location. If you're moving to your region, I have a full guide to the best commuter towns and neighborhoods. I'll link it in the description below as well. So step 4 is start house hunting. This is the fun part. I call it shopping, but it's always the most time consuming. On average, a first-time home buyer will look at 10 to 15 homes before they find the one. Some find it faster, some take longer. It depends on the market and how specific your criteria are. Here's what we will do. I'll set up an automated listing alert based on your must-haves. Every time a new home hits the market that matches your criteria, you'll you'll get an email from me. You'll review it, then we will schedule showings for the ones that you are interested in. During the showings, I'll be your second set of eyes. I'll point out things you might miss or not even thinking that are important. This will help you evaluate each property objectively. I have a list of 10-point inspection checklists that I give to my first-time home buyers to use in every showing to spot potential red flags. I can also link that in the description below. Pro tip for this step is do not fall in love with the staging or the paint color of the home. Focus on the things you cannot easily change, like the location, the lot size, the condition of the major systems like the roof, furnace, and foundation. Those are big ticket items, and those are the ones that you do not want to have problems with. So step 5 is making the offer. Now you've found that perfect home. Now it's time to make that offer. This is where things get real, and this is where having a great agent is absolutely critical. Here's what happens. We'll review all the comparable sales in the area and determine the fair market value of the home. Then we will craft an offer that includes the price, the closing date, the deposit amount, and any conditions that we need to include. If it's a condo, there'll be a status certificate required, having a lawyer review it, a home inspector, and a financing approval clause. In a competitive market, you might be in a multiple offer situation, which is basically a bidding war, for lack of a better definition. If that happens, we will use a strategic approach to make your offer as strong as possible without overpaying. I break down on how to win a bidding war in my home buyer's guide as well. Once we submit the offer, the seller has a few options. They can accept it, reject it, or counter it with different terms. If they counter, we can negotiate back and forth until we reach an agreement, or we simply walk away. There is always a next. That is the most important part. If you don't take anything away from this video, there is always a next home. This step can take anywhere from a day to a full week, depending on how many rounds of negotiation happen and how accessible the sellers are to negotiate. Step number 6, we complete the inspection and finalize the financing. Now it's congratulations, your offer has been accepted, but you're not done yet. If you've included a home inspection condition in your offer, which I strongly recommend, hear me again, I strongly recommend, you have to set a number of days. Usually we put 5 to 7 days to hire a home inspector and have them examine the property. The inspector will spend a minimum of 2 to 3 hours going through the house in a detailed manner. You are present and you get to follow the home inspector, and it's a learning education tool as well for you. He'll check the roof, the foundation, the plumbing, the electrical, the HVAC, the appliances. They will give you a detailed report of any issues they find or concerns. If the inspector reveals a major problem, let's say it's an issue with electrical, we'd bring in an electrician. Or if it's plumbing, we'd bring in another plumber for a detailed opinion. But at this point, you have 3 options. You can ask the seller to fix the issue, you can ask for a price reduction, or you can just simply walk away from the deal and get your deposit back. The deposit's usually returned within 5 days. At the same time, your mortgage broker is finalizing your financing. The lender will order an appraisal to confirm the house is worth what you're offering to pay for it. As long as everything checks out, your financing will be approved because you've done that pre-approval, and you'll remove your condition. Once all conditions are removed, the deal is firm. You are now legally committed to buying that home. So step 7 is when you hire your lawyer and you prepare for closing. Their job is to handle all the legal paper, to search the property title to make sure there's no issues. You also need to start preparing financially. Your lawyer will give you a statement of adjustments, which is a detailed breakdown of all the costs you need to pay on closing. This includes your down payment, your closing costs, and any adjustments for things like prepaid property taxes or hydro gas. I break this down also in my home buyer's guide, so there's no surprises. Remember, it's linked below. At this stage, you will also need to arrange for home insurance, set up your utilities, and start planning for your move. This period between the firm on offer and the closing date. This is usually 30 to 60 days, so you have time to get everything organized. So your step 8, this is it. It's closing day. This is the day you officially become a homeowner. On closing day, your lawyer will meet with the seller's lawyer, usually by phone or email, to exchange documents and transfer the funds. You don't have to be there for this part. Once everything is signed and the money has been transferred, your lawyer will call you and tell you you can pick up your keys. And then you get to go to your new home. The house is yours. Congratulations. Okay, let's just do a quick summary and a recap of the 8 steps from start to finish. The average first-time buyer takes about 90 days or 3 months to go through the pre-approval to keys process. Some people do it faster, some people take it longer, but now you know that roadmap. The most important thing to remember is this: you don't have to do this alone. Having the right team, a great mortgage broker, a great agent, and a great lawyer make all the difference. And they actually reduce the stress and make you feel more confident about your decision. If you're ready to start this journey, the first step is to get pre-approved. I work with some of the best mortgage brokers in Ontario, and I'd be happy to connect you with them. You can book a free, no obligational discovery call with me using the link in the description below. And to make this even easier, I have created a free downloadable home buyers timeline checklist that you can print out and follow step by step. Grab it in the link below. Now that you understand the timeline, the next thing you need to understand is closing costs. A lot of first-time homebuyers are totally shocked by how much extra money they need beyond the down payment. One of my next videos will break down every single cost so you are fully prepared. DM me if you want me to send that video to you once it goes live. I hope you find this useful. I'd really love it if you subscribe or comment below and come back for my next video. Bye for now.